May I please have Brent and Brad please come up to accept the award from Marlon Wells. This is the promoter supporter spot. Marlon Wells has been around Derby for a long time, and I remember I was stopped to get a cup of coffee in Central City one morning and happened to talk to him. And not only did he tell me that time back in the day that he not only did help Central City out, but as he lived in the different towns, helped other towns get a Derby start too. So he'd been around a long time. So tonight, accepting the award from Marlon Wells is Brad and Brad Wells. And what I'll do is just shake your hand to the Prairie guys and then stand down by the end by the trophy. Congratulations. Thanks for coming. Move into our Derby section. At this time, I'd like to ask number 15, Sammy Robinson from Elm Creek, Nebraska, to step forward. Let's see over Sammy Robinson.
Thank you. Been a lot of years at Derby. I've actually met a lot more people since I've been running my trailer than now, but I tell you, I got a lot of wins over the years. I trade them all right now for the 12 more years of building cars that I with my dad, so I appreciate everything you guys did for me.
Let's give one more time to number 15, Sammy Robinson.
Huh? I forgot to have you guys talk. You guys want to talk?
Second spot for the Hall of Fame. At this time, I'd like to invite number 77, Mike Ford of Blue Hill, Nebraska.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank Dan and Mike Wise for putting on this program. Excellent job. Excellent. Second of all, Bill Turner, I want to thank him for nominating me. Appreciate it. Third, I'm the one standing up here getting everything, but I had a great picture. Without them, this wouldn't have been possible. I got Jim Bushoff, Tim Allen, Lamar Damboni built all my motors, Roger Meyer, Marlon Carr helped out. The list can go on, but I'll quit right there and just hit with some of the main ones. And last of all, my wife of 33 years, Nancy, she's the one that had to basically stay at home and raise her kids. So thank you, and let's continue doing this. It's a great thing. Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to do a log chain donated by Raptor Fab.
All right, back to the number 3 spot tonight for the Derby Hall of Fame. At this time, I'd like to invite number 9X, Timmy Grana from Abby, Nebraska.
Thank everybody for voting for me. Great to be here. People like this. Thank my wife for putting up with me all these years and shop, and everybody else that's out there on the way. I've had a fun career. I'm still having fun, so I'll probably do it a little bit longer yet. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim, for Tim Grana.
Seven, 1, 4, 6, 3, 4.
All right, we now fill the final spot for the Derby Hall of Fame. At this time, I'd like to invite the representative from Monty Stava, number 69 from Stablehurst, Nebraska. Representative Monty Stava, Tom Epstein, Greg Casey, Greg Casey.
I got a little rap, so here we go. No.
seriously, I want to thank David Bryan for nominating Monty. I want to thank Dan Bosch and everybody. It's a great thing you guys got going on to honor these great demo drivers and figure eighters. This is pretty cool, so keep going, and this is really appreciative. If anybody has a story on Monty, we can talk about him all night, but we'll keep it real quick. But Monty would give his right arm to anybody that wanted to demo. You know, we'd be building the shop, and the cars in the shop, and you know, we'd be waiting for the last week, and people would be coming in, asking them stories, kids coming in, and Monty always let them in. I'd be going, why are you telling them that? You know, we want to win. Why do you want to do this? You know, I didn't understand it. And then one good story is at Seward demo, we're sitting there, and the turners were broke down, and they needed a part off the motor. And Monty says, I'll be right back. So Monty races all over the stable horse, gets a part off my motor, off one of my drivers, which today was never fixed. But I don't know what, rocker arm or valve cover or something big to Josh or Shaddy. And I'm sitting there going, we're competing with these guys. What are you doing? I was like, and I found out later that night he took the piece off my motor bits. But like I said, Monty would do anything for the sport. He helped out a lot of people. His name is pretty recognized everywhere. But you know, we were counting over 57 first place wins, and we're still counting probably 10 more we're missing. But Trey did a great job. Always low man on totem pole, and but Trey always did a good job. And I also like to say Scott Drop, Kevin Reimers, you know, the whole crew, the whole Highmark crew. You know, this whole group is a family, really. I mean, and I think Monty kind of pushed us all together to be friends almost in a way, because, you know, we eventually made friends with Turners, kinda. And then he makes friends with these bomber kids, you know, which I did not understand. I still hate them, yes. He and Jared Haas, true story. Demoing, when they first demo car they built, you can ask Trayton or Colin. Scott Drop, they called the flag, it was Trayton, they built this car all night, you know, little blinders or whatever, and me and Jared are up in the stands, and they waved the flag, and Scott was cross-track, and his plows, and we're up in the stands screaming, yeah! And they come walking by us, and we're flipping them off, you know, just going back and forth with them. And what happens? 2 years later, Monty makes friends with them. It's like, well, what are you doing, Monty? I'm never going to win. But that's just some of the stories that Monty, you know, participated and brought this pretty much group together. You know, so I don't have much more else to say, but, you know, he really brought the family together as a derby and figure eighters. So we appreciate everything, and, you know, God, I wish he was here. But, you know, he fought, like, if anybody went to the funeral, they were planning for 250 people there, and it ended up being over 600 people there, so it's pretty amazing. And you figure when he was diagnosed with cancer, he never complained once. I spent 7 days with him down in Houston. As soon as he looked like, he said you looked like you were hooked up to NASA, man, with all the needles and everything that knocked him out. And he woke up and said, let's go get a steak, Tommy. So we went and got a steak, but he spent over 1,000 nights in the hospital, so you figure out how many times you drew blood, how many times you got pricked in the needles, how many times, and over 50 major surgeries. And Doc Matsey gave him 3 months to live, and he made 12 years, so, I mean, just amazing. And so, but you never once mentioned to you or said that I have cancer and I'm going to die. He looked at it like this is a challenge. It's my problem. I'm never going to give it to you or explain it to you or anything. So, and especially with Casey, how many times they made it down to St. Joe, how many times in the hospital, how many times. So, I mean, we can go on and on, but thank God for Casey, Macy, and everybody that's part of Monty's life. So, anyways, thank you.
Let's give it for Monty Shala.
$438,777. 438,777.
Oh, I gotta finish my rap now. Anyways, a lot of people always said, you know, what, Monty figure eighted? Really? When? Way back in the day, he built for Aurora, we were trying to figure out the year, but you know, but he built a fresh wagon and he jumped it and he won. But anyways, he did figure eight back in the day. And then he always said, this is after the Trayton guys and the Bombers, those guys, but he always said, figure eighters is for fags who can't bend them. So, and in fact, I painted that on my car, I think in 2002 for the state figure eight, where I got 7, but I did paint that on my car, and I showed him the Bomber boys, anyways. But Monty and figure eight, and appreciate everything that you guys have done, which is great, so thanks again for placing everybody. So, thanks a lot.
And the only thing that I have to say about figure eight is for those of you who are continuing to figure eight, I apologize for the extra rules that you have now because of my husband.
Let's give it to Monty Simon. We have some impact sockets, a Bud Light glass, and
We will now fill the last figure eight spot at the end of the hour. I'd like to invite the number 3, Jason Edelman from Springfield. 33. 33.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. I'm glad we're able to get everybody here. It was hard to follow about the figure eights being pussies, but I tell you why I went to figure eighting. Late 1990s, I won my first derby, and it come down to me and Monty, Polk County Fair. That was, you know, Monty was the guy to beat, and I beat him, and that was really something I was really proud of. Got to be a little bit later. Anyway, it got to be a little bit later, you had to almost start choosing sides a little bit. I didn't want to do that. I had friends on both sides, and I wasn't going to choose sides. So I was friends with Travis Bodine, and we started figure eighting. I bought my first car from Randy Fetchel, a used derby car. And I figure eighted it 3 times, and I had a lot of fun. So I kind of put everything I knew into figure eighting, and I had some good success, and I had a lot of fun. And if it wasn't for 3 guys, I wouldn't have been able to figure eight. John Andrews helped me out a lot, Craig Donaldson, and my brother Scott. There's no way I could have been into all the figure eights if those guys wouldn't have helped me. And just like what Mike says, we had just had our first kid, and my wife, you know, she pretty much, I know you spend a lot of time out of the shop and go to figure eights every weekend, and she really was at home with the kids, and sometimes I took that for granted. And I wanted to tell her thank you for everything that she did. And I got 2 special wins I'd like to say. My daughter was born 7 days before the Polk County Fair, and that was the proudest day. The figure eight that I won, the daughter came to the race, and she slept through the whole thing. And I just remember, after I won, I was walking around out in the pits just showing her off to everybody. I was really proud of that. And then the first year they ran the state figure eight, in the finals, I know Creighton's not here, but Colin was here. It was me and Creighton up front, my brother and Colin in the second row, and we started like that, and I thought that was kind of neat to have brothers up front. And I was lucky enough to win it, and Creighton got second. So I was proud of that too. So, you know, and I don't feel like I'm not done yet, so I really don't, you know, put myself with some of these guys because they've been doing it for a long time and they've retired, and I really, you know, take my hat off to you guys. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming, thank Dan for doing this, and you know, stick around and have some fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you.